Hello guys, how are you getting on? Welcome back to my channel today. Welcome back to Season 2 of The Verdict then. And unfortunately, we're now heading into our first international break of the new campaign. And me being from the country I'm from, painful enough, I'm not gonna lie. But before we talk about any of that, let's talk about the football then. And Liverpool kicked things off with their 4th consecutive win. One of their best starts to a Premier League season. 12 points out of 12 now for them. Despite being extremely unconvincing against Leicester City, they did manage to claim the 3 points on this one. They beat them 2-1 at the King Power Stadium at lunchtime on Saturday. They took the lead very early on thanks to a goal from Sadio Mane, and their early dominance paid off with a second goal when Roberto Firmino got on the end of a corner from, I think it was James Milner, to nod it in to make it 2-0. And at this stage, first 15 minutes, Liverpool completely blitzed Leicester and got their 2 goals. But to be honest, I'd have to say for the rest of the game, Leicester were by far and away the better team in this game and were extremely unlucky not to get anything out of the game. James Maddison, for me, was definitely the best player on the park by an absolute mile. And Leicester's dominance did reward them with a goal. When Alisson decided to go full Karius, and I'm not even sure what he was doing. We all know how good he is with his feet. He tries to be a bit clever with it and try and dribble out. Loses it to Iheanacho. He pulls it across the pulls it across the face of the Liverpool goal. And there waiting is Rachid Ghazal with his first goal for the club. And I was very impressed with him as well. A lot of people and pundits are comparing him to Riyad Mahrez, obviously Algerian right winger, came from the French league, so there's a lot of similarities there. But yeah, he got the goal, and that is how it's finished, unfortunately, for Leicester. But I think Claude Puel will certainly take a lot of positives out of the game. I think Claude Puel's not renowned for this, but Leicester's style of play was very easy on the eye in this particular game, and they were unfortunate not to get anything out of it in the end. So the other team now that is maximum on points is Chelsea. 12 points out of 12. Literally, as a Chelsea fan, could not have asked for anything better than that. We picked up a 2-0 win over Bournemouth at Stamford Bridge on Saturday afternoon. Bournemouth were a tough nut to crack, in fairness. We had a lot of possession, dominated the game, but Bournemouth, they limited us to very few clear-cut opportunities. Asmir Begovic didn't actually have too many saves to make, in fairness, and for a lot of the game were frustrating Chelsea, and in fairness, had a lot of good chances themselves. At 0-0, Callum Wilson had a great chance, and by far and away the best chance of the game fell to former Chelsea man Nathan Ake in the second half, and somehow the ball has come across to him from a corner, someone's flicked it on at the near post, and somehow he's about 2 or 3 yards out, he manages to scoop it up and over Kepa's crossbar, and Chelsea punished them for that. Pedro came off the bench once again. What an incredible start to the season that man has had. 3 goals in his opening 4 games for Chelsea this season. He got the goal. It took a massive deflection, to be fair, off Steve Cook. Completely changed the direction of the ball. Made it very difficult for Asmir Begovic. That made it 1-0. And then Eden Hazard made it 2. Marcus Alonso was, of course, again involved. He's very involved on that left-hand side. He's nearly more like a left winger than an actual left back. But great low-driven shot from Hazard to make it 2-0 to Chelsea, and that's how it finished. Eden Hazard said after the game that, Chelsea, it's like a new lease of life from now this season because of the appointment of Maurizio Sarri. The style of play has certainly improved than it was under Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho, those are 2 of his previous managers at the club. And he's just enjoying himself now, which is good to see. I have to say the midfield have been very impressive, and for the style of play that Sarri wants to implement, Jorginho looks like a stroke of a genius of a signing, and Mateo Kovacic has come in and slotted in beautifully into that midfield 3. And N'Golo Kanté is really embracing his role playing further forward as well. This was Eden Hazard's first start of the season as well, and he is just world class. What a player he is. We're so lucky to still have him in our ranks. By far and away our best player at the minute. And the back 4 is playing well as well. It's good to see that we've been able to adapt back to a back 4. David Luiz has come in and he's basically been like a new sign and having played bugger all of last season really. Rudiger is improving all the time. Alonso may as well be a centre forward, to be honest. The one thing I will say though, we need to start starting Olivier Giroud. Alvaro Morata is still flattering to deceive, and whenever Giroud's come on, he's been very, very influential, so I would love to see Giroud start from now on. The one question mark I do have is over the goalkeeper still, Kepa Arrizabalaga, whether or not he's up to it. Yeah, obviously, he hasn't had too many saves that I've said, wow, incredible saves, but any goals that have gone past him, he hasn't been able to do an awful lot about, so kind of hard to judge him so far. He does look decent with his feet, but it should be interesting to see how he adapts when we come to playing bigger teams, and like not only that, but the rest of the team, how the whole team adapts to playing the Liverpools, Man City, Spurs, these really high pressing, high quality attacking teams. It'll be interesting to see how that back four and goalkeeper cope with that, and the rest of the team do as well. But so far so good. It's kind of disappointing now that we have to go into an international break and kind of break the momentum. But we have Cardiff at home after the international break. So yeah, looking forward to that. Now let's move on to West Ham. Oh my god, poor old West Ham. Bottom of the table, 0 points after 4 games. With all the signings that they've made, nobody would have been expecting this. They lost 1-0 to Wolves in the most heartbreaking way possible. Adama Traore off the bench, scoring his very first goal for Wolves in the 93rd minute at the London Stadium. Complete heartbreak for Manuel Pellegrini and his team, and you know they'll only be hoping now that they can just improve after the international break. The bad thing for them now is they have to wait the 2 or 3 weeks or whatever it is, however long the international break is, still at the bottom of the table, and it'll be interesting to see if they can bounce back once club football returns. Now on to a very entertaining game at the Amex Stadium between Brighton and Fulham. Fulham took the lead through Andre Schürrle. Alexander Mitrovic scoring once again his 4th goal in as many games to make it 2-0 Fulham. Fulham looked really comfortable at this stage, absolutely cruising, but then Glenn Murray popped up once again, as he so often has, to get the goal for Brighton to pull it back. Then Mitrovic turned from hero to villain, handballing it in the Brighton box, and up stepped Glenn Murray again and slotted away the penalty, going 1-up on Pascal Gross, who already had missed one earlier on in the game. 2-2 has helped finish an entertaining afternoon at the Amex. On to the game at Selhurst Park then, and Southampton picked up an incredible win over Crystal Palace. This was the story of the fact that Crystal Palace didn't have Wilfried Zaha this game, and his presence is so large for Palace. You know, without him, they really are lost. But you also have to look at the catalogue of errors, or catalogue of mistakes on Christian Benteke's part. I mean, that man just can't finish his dinner. What has happened to him? I mean, he had an incredible couple of seasons at Aston Villa, moved to Liverpool, didn't really happen for him, but admittedly it is a different style of play at Liverpool. And then he went to Palace, and things started off well for him, but they've just slowly deteriorated as time has gone on. Danny Ings got his first goal for, I think it was his first goal for Southampton since signing from Liverpool on loan. And with Crystal Palace chasing the game, those gaps at the back, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg got the second for Southampton. A big win away from home, and I had Southampton down to really struggle this season. That is a massive win away from home at Selhurst Park. On to the game at Goodison then, and Everton didn't manage to get the 3 points against Huddersfield, which shocked me, to be honest with you. They actually did fall behind thanks to a header from Philip Billing, but that lead didn't last too long at all, really. It literally only lasted 2 minutes, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored Everton's equaliser, and that is how it's finished. Everton fans will be disappointed they're not winning games like that at home against teams like Huddersfield, especially with the kind of business they did in the summer, particularly on deadline day. On to the late game then, the champions Manchester City faced off against Newcastle United. It was business as usual for City, who took the lead thanks to a goal from Raheem Sterling very early on in the game, but then Newcastle bounced back, and DeAndre Yedlin equalised for them not too long before half time. Gabriel Jesus kind of fell asleep on the left wing, didn't track the run of Yedlin, and the cross, I think it was from Kennedy, was met well by Yedlin at the far post. And at this stage I was thinking to myself, well, if there's anyone who can grind out a draw from here, it's Rafa Benitez. I mean, he's fucking renowned for it. He is a great man if you're looking to see out results. But City's pressure told in the end, and it took one moment of magic, a brilliant strike from Kyle Walker to win it for Manchester City. And to be honest, they should have maximum 12 points out of 12. If it wasn't for some poor refereeing decisions at Molineux last week, they would have. The Willy Bolly goal wouldn't have counted, and I think they would have got a penalty in that game against Wolves as well. But, not complaining. On to the games on Sunday then, and it was a very entertaining afternoon at the Cardiff City Stadium between Cardiff and Arsenal. It finished 3-2 to Arsenal, who took the lead thanks to Shkodran Mustafi. But Cardiff continued to just press and not give up at all. And up until this game, they actually hadn't scored any goals so far since their return to the Premier League. And take Arsenal to concede 2 against them. They equalised just before half-time thanks to Camarasa, but it wasn't long in the second half before Arsenal went back in front thanks to a lovely link-up between Lacazette and Aubameyang. Aubameyang with a lovely finish, his first of the season. But even still, Arsenal couldn't hold on to that lead for very long. Danny Ward with his first ever Premier League goal, a fantastic header to equalise for Cardiff. But Arsenal showed great resilience and won the game thanks to a wonderful strike by Alexandre Lacazette, also his first goal of the season. A shaky win for Arsenal, but a win nonetheless, and it's 2 wins from 2 for them, and Arsenal fans will be very happy about that. So Manchester United then bounced back at Turf Moor with a 2-0 win over Burnley. Burnley really struggling at the minute, and it'll just be interesting to see now whether or not they can bounce back after the international break. Obviously they won't be in Europe this season after Olympiacos beat them over the 2 legs. But it was 2 goals on the day from Romelu Lukaku, who decided it for Manchester United, who also had Marcus Rashford sent off for a headbutt on Phil Bardsley. Yeah, I've seen there's still quite a lot of unrest amongst United fans. Obviously there was the plane flying over Turf Moor saying Ed Woodward is a specialist in failure, which obviously isn't a good sign if your fucking fans are letting that off. But I've no doubt things should improve for United. I mean, they can't get much worse than they have been already this season. But a 2-0 win will certainly settle the nerves for them. The biggest story of the weekend, Watford are top of the table. Well, not top, but like joint top on points. Only aren't top on goal difference, thanks to a 2-1 win over Spurs. We knew something had to give here. Going into the weekend, we had 4 teams who were level on points with maximum points at the top of the table. You had Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs and Watford. And for me, it was just kind of a given that Spurs were going to win this. And not exactly how it turned out. They took the lead thanks to an own goal, a freak own goal really, by Abdoulaye Doucouré. Some poor goalkeeping from Ben Foster, not dealing with the initial ball in from Ali. But what a response. What a response from Watford. 2 goals in a couple of minutes. Troy Deeney equalised, and then Craig Cathcart with his first goal since I think it was January 2016. Rising highest to put in the header, and Watford won the game by 2-1. An incredible win for Watford, and I had them down to struggle this season, but they really look like a really together squad. And if Javi Gracia can keep his job, it'll be interesting to see whether or not Watford can progress further. But so far, they're showing very good signs. I've been very impressed with them at the minute. So that is it then. International break, which, only means one thing. Put up with fucking Ireland. Oh. I think we have 2 games in the UEFA Nations League against Wales and Poland. I probably will do verdicts on them as well. If you would like to see that, please do give this video a like. But last time I did a video on Ireland, it kind of blew up. For those of you who are new subscribers, I made a video back in November about Ireland's 5-1 defeat to Denmark, and that video got close enough to 3,000 views, which was fucking incredible. Majority of which being Danish fans just being angry at me for not giving their team enough credit. So yeah, that was fucking jokes. But anyway, I probably will do verdicts on the games against Wales and Poland. Let's just hope we can put in decent performances. I have no faith in this Irish squad whatsoever. Obviously there's all the controversy with Declan Rice at the minute. Harry Arter's pulled out with injury, Shane Long's pulled out with injury, so we've had to bring in a few fellas who I've never even heard of. But yeah, it's going to be a new look Irish team nonetheless. So It should be interesting to see, but for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here. And I will catch you later.